What if one of the biggest label bosses in the game just got publicly humiliated by his own star artist, then allegedly dumped, not for fame, not for money, but because of his other reputation? That's exactly the wild claim making the rounds right now. Fans are saying GloRilla straight up exposed Yo Gotti, claiming she left him over a so-called small package. But here's the thing, rumors spread fast, and not everything is what it seems. So let's break down what really happened behind all the viral chatter. And real quick, if you like getting the unfiltered side of hip-hop drama, make sure you hit subscribe. You won't want to miss what's next. When GloRilla first burst onto the scene in 2022, nobody was ready for the wave she was about to create. Her breakout anthem, Let's Go, didn't just make noise, it exploded. Within weeks, it was everywhere. TikTok trends, radio spins, and club DJs couldn't stop running it back. People weren't just listening, they were quoting it, posting about it, living it. GloRilla had tapped into something raw and real, and the energy was undeniable. It wasn't long before the industry heavyweights started paying attention. And among them, one man moved quicker than the rest, Yo Gotti. At the time, Gotti wasn't just a successful rapper. He was the head of CMG, a label already stacked with talent like Moneybagg Yo, 42 Dugg, and ESTG. Signing with Gotti meant more than a record deal. It was like stepping into the big leagues overnight. So when Yo Gotti officially brought GloRilla into CMG in July 2022, fans knew something major was about to happen. Gotti himself couldn't hide his excitement. He went public calling her a natural-born star, praising not only her music, but her energy and authenticity. To Gotti, she wasn't just another artist on the roster. She was the future of the label. From that moment, the dynamic was set. Yo Gotti was the seasoned label boss, the mentor with years of experience and industry connections. GloRilla was the young star on the rise, raw talent paired with fearless ambition. And together, they seemed unstoppable. The signing wasn't just a business move, it instantly shifted the conversation around both of them. For GloRilla, it meant validation. She wasn't a one-hit wonder. She was a force to be reckoned with. For Yo Gotti, it showed he still had an eye for spotting stars before they blew up. Fans saw the partnership as perfect synergy, and social media couldn't stop buzzing. But here's where things start to get interesting. Because while the headlines focused on the music, fans were already noticing the chemistry between them. And soon, whispers would start to turn into full-blown rumors. And trust me, what came next would take the internet by storm. It didn't take long before fans started noticing something beyond the music. Sure, GloRilla was making waves on the charts and Yo Gotti was proudly backing his new star. But the way they moved together in public, that's what had social media buzzing. Every red carpet appearance, every behind-the-scenes clip, every moment caught on camera seemed to spark new speculation. Fans started clipping videos of Gotti standing a little too close, or GloRilla laughing at one of his jokes like they were sharing some inside secret. Then came the BET Awards. One single shot, Yo Gotti's hand lingering near GloRilla's waist, was enough to send Twitter and Instagram into a frenzy. Memes exploded overnight, with captions asking, "Are they just label mates? Or something more?" From that moment, the rumor mill was unstoppable. Fans swore they saw subtle flirting in interviews, while others pointed to their body language during performances. Even the smallest interactions became fuel for wild theories. People love a storyline, and the idea of a rising star and her powerful label boss secretly dating was too juicy for the internet to ignore. But here's the thing, neither GloRilla nor Yo Gotti ever confirmed a relationship. In fact, whenever the topic came up, both were careful to shut it down. Gotti consistently pushed the narrative that he believed in her talent, calling her a game changer for the label. GloRilla echoed the same. This was business, not romance. She was focused on her career, her music, and proving herself in an industry that doesn't hand out respect easily. Still, fans weren't buying it. Every denial seemed to add more smoke, and where there's smoke, people assume there's fire. Social media detectives started dissecting everything from their outfits to their Instagram captions, looking for hidden messages. And just when the gossip seemed like it couldn't get any louder, another twist hit the headlines. One that had less to do with music and more to do with Yo Gotti's personal life. Because suddenly, all eyes turned to Angela Simmons, and that's when things got even messier. By early 2025, the rumor mill around GloRilla and Yo Gotti wasn't slowing down, it was heating up. But this time, the story didn't just involve them. Another name suddenly entered the spotlight, Angela Simmons. For those who don't know, Angela and Yo Gotti's romance had been a hot topic for years. From the moment they went public, fans were invested. Gotti himself had once rapped about crushing on her long before they became official. So when the relationship actually happened, it felt like a full-circle moment. They were hip-hop's power couple, always dressed to impress, hitting red carpets together, sharing luxury vacations on Instagram. At least, that's how it looked on the outside. Then, in May 2025, fans noticed something strange. Angela didn't post her usual birthday tribute for Gotti. Even more suspicious, the two quietly unfollowed each other on Instagram. No big announcement, no statement, just digital silence. And in today's world, that was all it took. Almost immediately, tabloids began speculating. Had Angela and Yo Gotti split? And if so, why? That's when the whispers around GloRilla came rushing back. Some outlets claimed Angela had grown tired of the constant rumors about Gotti and his artist. A headline from one gossip site even suggested Angela felt overshadowed by the rising star, hinting that the chemistry between Gotti and GloRilla was too much for her to ignore. Of course, none of this was confirmed. Close sources tried to shut it down, saying Angela and Gotti simply drifted apart. But for fans, the timing was too perfect. The unfollows, the missing birthday post, the ongoing chatter about GloRilla, it all added up to one explosive conclusion: jealousy. And as the gossip spread, social media only poured more gas on the fire. Comment sections lit up with claims that Angela had finally had enough, while others swore Gotti had crossed a line. Even memes started circulating, comparing GloRilla to a threat in plain sight, who had unknowingly, or maybe knowingly, shaken up Gotti's love life. But just when it seemed like the Angela-Gotti split was the headline, a new outrageous claim would blow up online. One that had nothing to do with jealousy, and everything to do with humiliation. Because according to the internet, GloRilla didn't just spark rumors. She supposedly dumped Yo Gotti herself. And the reason? Let's just say the streets weren't talking about music. And then came the wildest twist of them all. Out of nowhere, social media lit up with a claim so outrageous, people couldn't stop talking about it. According to countless viral posts, GloRilla had personally humiliated Yo Gotti by dumping him, allegedly because of his so-called small package. Screenshots started flying across Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram. Memes popped up overnight, some mocking Gotti with brutal captions, others portraying GloRilla as the fearless star who refused to settle. For a while, you couldn't scroll without seeing someone crack a joke about it. But here's the thing, there's zero real proof this ever happened. No interview from GloRilla, no quote from Yo Gotti, not even a leaked DM or text message. This wasn't a story reported by trusted outlets. It was pure internet gossip that grew legs and ran. In fact, most of the so-called evidence was nothing more than memes and fake screenshots designed to go viral. Still, the rumor spread like wildfire. Why? Because it played into the perfect storm. Fans were already buzzing about GloRilla and Gotti's chemistry. Angela Simmons' rumored jealousy was fresh in the headlines, and the internet loves nothing more than a scandal with a humiliating punchline. It didn't matter that no credible source confirmed it. People wanted the story to be true because it was messy, shocking, and entertaining. Of course, both GloRilla and Yo Gotti stayed completely silent, refusing to even acknowledge the chatter. And that silence only made things worse. The longer they ignored it, the more convinced fans became that there had to be something behind the scenes. And just when it looked like the rumor might finally die down, another layer of drama popped up, this time involving GloRilla's own reaction to the gossip, or rather, her lack of one, because the way she handled it only made people talk even more. By this point, the line between fact and fiction was so blurred that a lot of people couldn't tell what was real anymore. So, let's break it down. Here's what we know is true. GloRilla signed with Yo Gotti's CMG label in July 2022, following the massive success of FNF. The two have been spotted together at high-profile events like the BET Awards, with photos and clips showing undeniable chemistry. They've shared stages, tours, and interviews, often praising each other's talent and work ethic. Yo Gotti has repeatedly called her a natural-born star and a game-changer for his label. Now here's the part that falls strictly into the rumor category. Claims that GloRilla and Yo Gotti were secretly dating. Tabloid speculation that Angela Simmons ended her relationship with Gotti because of jealousy over GloRilla. And of course, the most viral story of all, that GloRilla supposedly dumped Gotti over his small package. On that last one, Let's be clear, there's not a single credible interview, statement, or piece of verified evidence backing it up. Not from GloRilla, not from Yo Gotti, not from anyone close to CMG. It's internet chatter, plain and simple. In fact, sources close to both artists have quietly emphasized that their relationship is strictly professional. The narrative from CMG insiders has been consistent. Gotti is focused on running the label, and GloRilla is focused on building her career. Everything else, the memes, the fake DMs, the Twitter theories, is just noise. But here's the thing about the internet. Sometimes the truth isn't enough to kill a good story. Even when the facts say otherwise, people love to believe the messiest version. And in this case, the messiest version painted GloRilla as the bold artist who embarrassed her own label boss. And as the rumor continued to spiral, it left a big question hanging in the air. How is all this chaos going to affect GloRilla's career moving forward? At the end of the day, this whole situation shows just how wild fame can get in the social media era. One minute, you're being celebrated for your talent and hustle. The next, you're the subject of a viral rumor so outrageous it overshadows your actual music. For GloRilla and Yo Gotti, it's a reminder that in today's world, perception can matter just as much as reality. A blurry picture, a meme, or a suspicious Instagram unfollow can spark headlines bigger than an album release. And once the internet grabs hold of a story, even one with no proof, it can spread faster than any press campaign ever could. So the real question is, what's actually happening here? Is this a deliberate PR spin, designed to keep GloRilla's name trending while she builds her career? Is it just fans hungry for drama, connecting dots that don't exist? Or are we watching a wild misfire, where a joke spiraled into a full-blown narrative the artist never asked for? Whatever the truth, one thing is clear. In the world of hip-hop, rumors are more than background noise. They're part of the game. And sometimes, they can define an artist's public image as much as their biggest hit. So next time you see a headline about your favorite star, ask yourself, is this the truth, or just the internet doing what it does best? And hey, if you want the real stories behind the drama, without all the fake screenshots and clickbait, make sure you hit that subscribe button, because trust me, you're not going to want to miss what's coming next.